Hello and welcome to episode number 5 of Operation Sub 35. I am currently in my car outside the gym, actually procrastinating a wee bit from the interval session that I'm just about to do. It's going to be 10 times 1k splits at race pace with a 60 to 90 second rest in between. If I can do this, it's going to give me a real confidence boost for the race. This is probably the biggest session or the most important session. So I'll let you know how that goes. But in terms of this episode, I'm going to be chatting more around sort of running gear, like the kind of shoes that I got, the rotation that I do, anything else that I wear in terms of belts, heart rate monitors, fuel gels and stuff that I take. All that sort of stuff is going to be covered in this episode. Probably won't be the longest of episodes, but we'll cover that when we get to that throughout this episode. But just going to dive into the gym just now and see how we get on. Absolute procrastination going on here, but no, let's get in, let's get it done. So, main purpose of this episode is going to just be chatting through the running gear that I use and what I would tend to take on most runs, and just to kind of hopefully reduce some of the noise around it, because there's so many things you can be like, oh, I need to get one of this, I need to get a vest, I need to get a belt, I need to get, what watch do I get, what gel should I take? There's so many things that can go through your head, and when you search it online there's just so many options. But this is probably the staple for me, anywhere up to like a marathon distance. If you're trying to do any ultra marathons and things like that, you might need to invest in some other gear such as running vests with bladders and things like that. But up to a marathon distance, this is literally, I'll go into shoes at a different part of this video, but this is literally it for me when it comes to like up to a marathon distance. Firstly, you've got a heart rate monitor, and you can get various different heart rate monitors as well. They're all going to be pretty similar, so I'd be going for one that's like, if you search on Amazon heart rate monitor and go for one of the lower price options, it's not going to be much different, to be honest. Like if you've got a Garmin watch or a Polar watch or something, you can get the same heart rate monitor, like a Garmin heart rate monitor, a Polar heart rate monitor. Might be a bit more expensive, but might link in easier. But for me, I've got one on Amazon. It's actually, the make is Cuspo. Not heard of it before. COOSPO. I think this was £23. Whereas you can get some that are up to 60 to 100 and so on. But the only difference is they might claim that they can get to even closer to an even closer beat per minute. But realistically, it's not going to be far wrong. See, if you can get a chest strap heart rate monitor, you can also get ones around the arm. But these are just so much more accurate than a watch. So it's definitely worthwhile. Like, see, if you put it on properly, you don't feel it's there. And this is going to give you a really, really accurate heart rate measure. And it's very, very useful to know your heart rate. Just in general, to start to learn the zones that you're in, the heart rate. And if you can know what your easy pace is, if you know then, okay, you can check your heart rate and you see it's going too high, you can slow down and so on. That can be really, really beneficial. For me, when I've had this heart rate monitor, I would never have done as well as I did at the ultramarathon. I literally didn't even look at my pace. I looked at my heart rate the full time, just made sure that it was around about that 160 mark, because I knew I could hold that, and that's all I looked at. If I saw it going up, I slowed down a wee bit. If it was dropping even lower, I said I can pick up the pace a wee bit. So heart rate monitor would highly, highly recommend. And as I said, £23 was all this was. It's not a huge investment, but very, very worthwhile piece of kit. And then this is my running belt. So there's loads of options with regards to running belts, and this is one of the, I would recommend this to everybody. It's Naked is the brand, and this is just probably the best piece of running equipment that I've ever bought. So I've had various different belts, various different running vests, but this essentially, if you order the correct size, make sure to measure yourself, order it, and this pretty much sticks to you, and you can fit your phone in there, you can fit like 5 gels in there. There's a big bit at the back where like a soft flask can go in, filled with like water, like I've had a 500 ml soft flask in that. And then you've got actually the pockets go right the way around, so even once you've got your phone in there, you can still fit your headphones. There's a bit that you can attach your keys, it stops them sort of bouncing about. Like, it is phenomenal, and you can't even see, because it's so tight to you and it sticks everything to you, nothing bounces, nothing moves, and like under a t-shirt you wouldn't even know you were wearing it. This is probably the best thing I could recommend to anybody wanting to sort of take up running and carry things, so you're not trying to carry things in your vest or hold your phones or stuff like that. This for me has been the best investment. Again, this was maybe about £30, but one thing I will say is make sure to measure yourself, because if you order the wrong size, it's pointless. It will be baggy, it will bounce about. You need to measure yourself and get the exact right size for you. And honestly, absolutely amazing purchase. So that's really the main thing. I'll have my belt for kind of holding anything. I've got my heart rate monitor, and I've got my Garmin watch. So mine is a Garmin 245, I think, or 255, a Forerunner. It's not one of the most high spec models, but it does the job for me, and I found that Garmin a lot better for kind of tracking running as opposed to like an Apple Watch or Fitbit and things like that. Garmin definitely would recommend, but yeah, as long as it's measuring, as long as you can have a look at your watch and you can see your current pace, potentially your average pace, your heart rate, all these types of things, and if it measures correctly. The good thing with Garmin is Bluetooths to this heart rate monitor, like you can link it into Strava, like it's just really useful. So Garmin for me is the watch, the go-to watch for running. You can also get other brands like Coros and Polar, but I would definitely recommend one of those if you're going to be taking it seriously, as opposed to like Apple Watch or Fitbit or anything like that. So that is really the kit. If I've got my watch, my heart rate monitor and my belt, then I'm good to go. And I just wanted to touch quickly on gels. So energy gels, what you eating during races. Half marathon and beyond is likely what you would be looking for with regards to gels, but as you would have seen from previous episode, I think it was number 3, I took a gel during the Paisley 10k at 5k in. Wouldn't normally do that, but I thought it wouldn't do any harm and actually feel it did help. So it's entirely up to you. But the gels that I'm using a mixture between this one called Buzz Power and this Hilltop Energy Gel. These two gels are both just honey and salt, basically. Honey and electrolytes. And the only difference between the two is this Hilltop one has caffeine in it as well. So that's why I mix between the two. I actually prefer these Buzz Power ones, but they don't do these in caffeine, so I've got a bit of a mixture, and literally I found these to be the best for me. All natural ingredients, literally honey, salt, and this one's got caffeine. That's it. Really no stomach issues with them. I love honey, so it goes down really well, and I can honestly say, having tried pretty much every gel out there, that these come top of the list for me, number one. So yeah, gel wise, that would get my vote. And I want you to have these every run. If I'm going out, literally these are the 3 things that I've got every run with me, to carry my phone and stuff like that, watch, music or whatever, heart rate monitor, and that's everything. Gels obviously only in specific runs depending on the distance, but as you can see, you don't need a lot of kit. You don't need to be trying to get a million and one different things. This will do the job. On to shoes, I'll come on to that in a different part of this episode, because again, another minefield, but we'll come on to that. But hopefully that's been useful in terms of the actual running kit and a wee bit of kind of insight on the gels. Kids are at nursery and school, so getting a quick partner conditioning workout with Kirsten. It's unlike we don't get to train often together, so good to get a session in. Yes. Kirsten. Hates the camera. So coming on to the all important topic of shoes. So this is something that I didn't realise how common the question is until I started getting really into running and working with people. It's like, what shoes should I get? What shoes do you wear? What's the best type? And it's really difficult to answer because everybody's feet are different. Some brands work better for some person and as opposed to another person. So very difficult to recommend get these shoes. Like, it might not work for that specific person. So before going into this, I would highly advise going into a specific running shop, like that does gait analysis, it gets you on a treadmill, allows you to go analyse your running form, your technique, to see if you pronate or just to see like how you run. From there, they can recommend specific shoes that suit you, whether that you need more stability shoes, whether you need neutral shoes. Very good to go and get that exercise done, because then you know that, and then it means if you are maybe ordering new running shoes online, you can look for the ones specifically, like if you know you need a stability shoe, then that's what you need to order. And yeah, I would advise getting that done before you go and spend fortunes on running shoes that don't even fit your feet. They give you blisters, they don't support you, you end up with injuries. So definitely not something to go and just buy willy-nilly. Definitely need to do a bit of research on it, get your analysis done, and from there get the shoes, because the biggest investment in terms of running and the best investment is going to be the footwear. If you've not got the correct footwear, it's going to result in injuries and you're not going to even be able to run. So make sure that you are wearing the correct shoes for your feet. So in terms of me, the kind of shoe rotation at the moment, we have went for all out Pumas. At the moment we are Puma daft, and the reason for that is I've just kind of found that Pumas really suit my feet. I've been really comfortable in them, and I'm just sticking with it just now. Like, I don't see the point in trying to change and go with stuff that might not work, whereas these are really working. So in terms of the kind of shoe rotation at the moment, I am wearing these. I think they're called Puma Nitro Velocity. These are just everyday running shoes, so I'll use these for most of my sort of easy pace runs, potentially some kind of tempo runs that I've got a mixture of easy tempo pace in them, but these are the ones that if I'm just jumping out a run, you wear these. I've then got the Puma Nitro Deviates. So these have got a carbon plate in them, and these are predominantly, I bought these initially for Hyrox, but they've actually been really good for sort of fast tempo sessions, interval sessions at the track. They've been really useful. It's basically a fast shoe, but they're not as sort of lightweight as my racing shoes, so I don't wear these for racing, but they have been great for Hyrox and for sort of kind of interval runs, track sessions, and faster paced sessions, because they've got the carbon plate in them. And then these are the new Puma Nitro Fast R, they're called, and these are just racing shoes predominantly. If I'm going to be doing like a race pace effort, 5k to 10k or something, then I probably will wear these, but I don't wear these regularly. I'm not going to wear these on an everyday run, because as you can see, they are extremely thin. They're probably not the most supportive. These have got a carbon plate, and they do feel really fast, really lightweight, really fast. Highly recommend. But again, it might not work for you. But these, I wore these at Paisley for the first race I wore them in was Paisley, 10k PB, so happy with that, and I can see myself kind of sticking with these for a while. The thing is, these shoes will not last as long as these shoes, just in terms of the way it's made. That's why you don't wear them that often. And also, just if I wore these all the time, it's a lot less support. I'll probably end up finding that you'll get a bit more susceptible to injuries and things like that. But just with regards to the carbon plate, so what's a carbon plate do? So carbon plate, essentially, just in kind of simple terms, really helps with it reduces the effort needed to kind of it's springier off the ground, which then reduces the effort needed from your own body to produce that energy, and can really help with increasing pace. So yeah, they are more expensive, but definitely worth it for a race shoe. And these probably will last a long time if you only wear them for sort of specific races, because then you're not using them all the time. But that is my current shoe rotation. I just want to end this point by saying that I've got 3 shoes there on rotation, because like I do lots of different runs. I'm huge into my running. You do not need to get 3 different pairs of shoes when you're just starting out running. I'd be advising like an everyday pair. Doesn't need to be 150, 200 pounds. You can get great shoes online, 60 to 80 pounds. If you go in, get your analysis done, get some shoes that have been recommended, and yeah, that'll be great to start with. Just getting your easy pace runs in, building up, and then after that you can then start taking things more seriously. Then you can start thinking about, I might need to rotate these and things like that, and use different shoes for different types of runs like I have. But don't feel like, Jordan's got 3 different pairs of shoes, I need to try and order that. You can definitely get by with just 1 pair of shoes to start with 100%, and I would recommend the kind of everyday ones. You don't need to go and get ones with carbon plates and things like that. So hopefully that's covered a lot in this episode with regards to shoes, the gear that's been wearing. Obviously there's not been a huge amount of training videos in this episode, but I just wanted to go through and just kind of outline exactly what I wear, what are the gear that I've got, the kit that I've got, and yeah, hopefully it's been useful and can maybe cut out some of the noise that you see if you do a quick Google search. So let us know in the comments below, or drop us a message if you've watched this back, and we'll see you on episode number 6, where I'm going to be diving into a bit more of routine, a bit more around kind of lifestyle, fitting in social occasions, eating, drinking, all the rest of it. How do we fit that in around training for a really kind of top end time on a running event? So how do I fit that in? That is going to be episode 6, so stay tuned for that, and hope you have enjoyed number 5.